Hey guys, welcome back to What Next? And this week we're going to be covering something a little on the newer side, right? So this weekend I actually went and got a chance to watch Good Fortune here. I'd give it 2 thumbs up actually. So I was looking for something to do on a Saturday. Saw this one was out in theaters. I actually kind of missed that it dropped the week prior. So I said, you know what? Let me go give it a shot. You've got Keanu Reeves, Seth Rogen, Aziz over here. All great characters or great people, great actors in my mind. So saw the trailer for it a while back. Premise looked really good. Seeing Keanu Reeves in a comedy, haven't done that in a minute. So I figured I'd go give it a watch, and it does not disappoint. So if you guys haven't gotten a chance to go see it, I highly recommend you do seeing it, or if you want to wait it out till it comes out on streaming. But either way, definitely a watch. So if you haven't watched this one yet, please wait to watch this. I don't give out too many spoilers per se, but I do want to figure out what's next for these characters. But if not, go watch it this weekend, go watch it next week, or you can wait and then come back to this one too. Either way. But so we're going to go ahead and do what we do here on What Next. So we're going to start off with kind of the sub character here. So we're going to go with Elena. Elena is the girl right here technically to my right. So what I'm curious about with her character is that given that everything is kind of come full circle and back around with, her and, Arj, Arj up here, if you guys have seen this movie, I'm just curious more so if she's able to kind of do what she seemed like she was kind of wanting to do the right thing for a lot of people. She was trying to get the union going for the hardware store she worked at. So it ultimately failed the first time around. So I'm just curious if she kept going and if they actually get her to succeed with doing that and creating that union for them, and also to what that looks like and how that helps her character grow in a sense of, all right, I did this accomplishment that I wanted to do. What next? Because it seems like she really just wanted to help people that were stuck in these normal situations. Everybody's stuck working a 9 to 5 or whatever job. A lot of people got 2-3 jobs trying to make it, in this world right now with everything being crazy expensive and, a lot of jobs not giving benefits, but some people are just happy to have the job. So she just wanted to change that for a lot of people. So I'm just curious where she goes from here. And as far as getting, getting steps to making things better. Same thing. We'll go to Arj now. So Arj is our main character, essentially of the show or the story. You know his story if you've seen this through. So now going after the fact, I was kind of curious what next with him. You do see that he finally kind of broke down and admitted to his dad that life is tough right now. He's struggling. It's hard to get a job out there for a lot of people. Prices are crazy. He tried to, he was working as a delivery guy. It's crazy. They weren't getting respect from these people who weren't, doing well. So if you guys do anything like a Uber Eats, something like that, please make sure you're tipping your people nice, because that does make a factor on what they do, and that's, their livelihood. So make sure you're giving those 5 stars when they do a good job. But after this, I'm kind of curious what next for him. We see him and Elena. It looks like they're living, I want to say, in probably Elena's mom's apartment with her. So clearly, situation hasn't gotten too much improved in a sense as far as living situation and probably money-wise. But he's off to a good start. He's doing his documentary thing. So I'm just curious if that essentially picks up for him and leads him to a different opportunity or a few different opportunities to where he can kind of go off and explore that career that he's wanted to, because he wanted to... And that's what his career is. He wanted to write documentaries, for a living. So I'm just curious where he goes with that now, seeing that he's back from what he was doing. Him and Jeff essentially kind of swapped lives. So now that he's seen, it's not always great to, be rich and, have everything you want, because sometimes it just does get lonely because you have so much and you don't have no one to share it with. So it seems like now that he's finally got his life to share with somebody, which is Elena here. So they're happy in that sense. And now it's just kind of getting their lives and their careers up and moving. So I'm curious where they would have gone with him. Hopefully it would have been some good things. His documentary and could have taken off and gotten him some notoriety. So that, I think that would have been good. Now Jeff up here, played by Seth Rogen. Now, you know what goes on with his character. He kind of sees how the other side lives. Now, I'm curious, because at the end you see him, he's gotten control of that delivery business. So he changes everything about it. He wants to go ahead and actually, essentially pay these people better money, give them benefits, essentially treat them like make them good employees, because he knows that these people are the ones out there hustling every day. They know it's not easy to be, in that industry. You're over here, you're over there, you're spending hours in line waiting for things. So he knows that it's a tough life to live. So he wants to take care of these people now. And, I think that's amazing. So as far as what happens next with this character, I'm just curious to see if he goes off into a little more philanthropy and wants to start taking care of more people in not optimal situations. Because it seems like he does have a lot. They don't really say how much money he's got, but you could tell he's definitely got a lot. So I'm just curious if he does and goes and opens more businesses or makes more avenues for people that are in that, kind of heading down that route. It's like, all right, let's make life easier for everybody. He's got more than enough money, so why not share it and make everybody's lives a little easier? I think that'd have been good to see how it goes. Maybe, somewhere along the line, he kind of gets, give him a villain, maybe his buddy that he was in business with kind of fights back, because he's like, no, I like being rich, and, we're in control, so we don't have to give these people too much of anything. So I think it'd be good to kind of see maybe him and, Arj team back up to, kind of a little more fight for the common man in a sense. But I think that would have been good just to see where he was headed now that he's seen, the real struggle of kind of like most of us out there. We're fighting for a living out there. We do what we got to do to make a buck, and, we have lives, and we go around, we have these, fellow coworkers who they got their own lives and stories too. So now that he saw that, I'm just curious where he goes from there. So I think that would be good to see where he goes on. And now the big one. We got Gabriel right here, played by Keanu Reeves. So Gabriel, as you know, he had his own troubles, and, again, we're not going to go through his whole story, but I'm curious what happens next for Gabriel mostly. Obviously at the end, he's back to being an angel. I'm just curious as to, do they give him his same assignment? Is he back to helping people that are texting and driving? Now that he's kind of shown a little more courage and, that he can kind of handle these situations that he wanted to be in, that he can kind of help save, a person's soul in a sense. Like, do they give him a little more to do, or do they not? Does he kind of get demoted back to maybe further back? Like we don't know. At the end, we do just see, the lifting of the taco, that, he's still definitely keeping it on Arj here, because, Arj ends up becoming his dude, and then I'm wondering if he misses, human life. Because he's an angel, he's kind of, eternal. So I wonder if he's going to sit there for a while and be, I miss being a human. I miss, the interactions with people. I miss laughing. I miss smiling at them. I miss, the chicky nuggies, as he was saying, right? So I'm just curious how his character progresses. Maybe he goes into, now he's this great big angel. He's got these huge, bigger wings, because the more important you are, the bigger the wings are. So maybe like in a, like a follow-up, you see him, he's become this great, angel, and he's got these huge wings, but ultimately he still missed the life he had with Jeff and Arj for a while, and he wants to go back and be human again. Who knows? Or maybe he's, going to do some bigger, grander plan that takes him over, and he has to watch over Jeff and Arj a little more, or Elena. So yeah, that's my take on that movie. Again, great movie. I love the cast. It's a freaking hilarious movie. You guys haven't got a chance to go see it. But that's all I got for this week, guys. Stay tuned for next week, and thanks for watching.